All right, guys, we've got some really cool stuff today in today's video. We're going to be upgrading the stereo on the 99 abandoned Cobra. We've got some cool exterior pieces, some trim panel pieces. We're going to show you all that right now. Hey everybody, we got some fun stuff going on today. We're not doing anything really mechanically crazy or anything like that, but we're just doing a lot of fun stuff on the 99 Cobra. If you guys haven't watched any of the videos, check out Alex at Legit Street Cars. He got my old 99 Cobra that I built up 25 years ago, sold it 3,000 miles later, popped the motor, and you got 22 years of just sitting, just abandoned. A lot of work needed to be done, so make sure you check out Legit Street Cars. He's got a whole 10 video thing on it, but you know, we got the car back. I've got the car back. I got my original Mustang, my baby back, and we're just going to do some fun stuff today. Now, obviously the stereo, 25 years old, the Mach 460 was still a great stereo. It sounds good. It doesn't sound bad, but it's got a cassette deck. It's got a CD player. I haven't had a cassette in 20 years probably. I haven't had a CD in probably, God knows, 10 years. So we wanted to update the stereo. Plus, there's no navigation, and these days you drive around a lot, navigation, things like that. The Apple CarPlay is really cool. So for starters, we reached out to our friends over at Crutchfield. Crutchfield, man, they do an amazing job because they give you all the parts you need. If you pick a stereo, they tell you what fits, what doesn't, what you need. They set us up with this JVC that has the Apple CarPlay and everything with it. It's a double-din system. Now, one of the things is we'll show you in the dash there, it's kind of a split screen with the cassette and the CD player, so double din doesn't fit. But they give you a whole list of everything you're going to need. One of those is this piece from Metra. So Metra, this is where your AC controls are going to go. They give you some new vent pieces to go in it. But this is going to replace so that we can fit a double din in there that's going to look really cool. Wireless CarPlay. It does come with wired CarPlay, but there's no real place for the USB, I think, to look nice. We could probably cut a hole and stuff, but I want to make this thing look kind of fresh. But you get this piece from Metra. In addition, they give you all the brackets, the wiring harnesses. They tell you everything you need. But what's really cool is for an extra like 25 bucks, you can opt for their pre-wire, which they basically take all the harnesses, they match them together for everything you need for this stereo to go in. So it's essentially plug and play, not quite, but my salesman, Mike, he considers himself a radio aficionado, mildly anyway. He likes to do this stuff on the side. So instead of sending this out somewhere, because we don't do a lot of the audio stuff, we're going to let Mike do the install for you on that. So that's really cool. In addition, since we're doing that, we've got this new piece that goes around the shifter. If you see my other videos, you know that we had a locking converter in this thing years ago. And back 25 years ago, control was really tricky. So we actually had a switch that you had to flip. You got on the highway and got into fourth gear. You had to flip a switch, lock the converter, light would come on, tell you when it's locked, when it's unlocked. So you got switches and lights and stuff in there, real antiquated. And we don't use those anymore because now that we've got an updated PCM in there that controls the automatic, all the tuning is done through the computer now. You don't have to worry about doing any of that. So we're going to put a fresh piece in there. The other cool thing, the one we opted for, it comes with this cool dual USB setup. So obviously that car, nobody knew what a USB was back then. You just didn't have them. So we're going to replace the cigarette lighter because of course I don't smoke and most people don't smoke these days. And it's going to replace the cigarette lighter with 2 USB ports. So that's going to be really cool. So we'll be able to charge. We're going to use the wireless CarPlay on this. We're going to have nav. We're going to have great sounds. Everything's going to be really cool there. In addition, got some badass headlights. As you know, if you watch Alex's video, they did a freshen up. The headlights were horrible. They were really covered, and they got them back probably 80%, but a lot of the corners and stuff still don't look good. All the trim pieces, it still has that 20 years sitting outside, weather degrading it, even though it's not being driven and stuff like that. So we opted for a new set of headlights. We did go for the black housing. We stuck with clear lights because I do kind of like the clear on the car. There's chrome wheels, polished stuff on it. So we did like that. We did get our friends at Headlight. They sent us some LED bulbs. These are still standard bulbs in here. So we figured while we're at it, before we put them in, should be a pretty easy install. Let's throw some LED bulbs in, get a little bit better lighting out there. So that's going to be cool. I'll show you the air filter in a minute, but the air filter that's on the car is literally 24 to 25 years old. So K&N, we talked to them. We gave them some numbers off of it. They gave us a replacement. It doesn't look 100% of the same, but it's like 98%. So this filter is going to work good. I know Alex cleaned and oiled the old filter, but I mean, if you had to buy this yourself, it's like 45 bucks. So why not go for a brand new filter? That's something we're going to do. Then we got a couple other cool exterior pieces. One is the wipers. So the wiper arms on this car, man, they look 25 years old. We found at 2 different places. We found one passenger. This is a passenger, and one driver. Unfortunately, the driver's side isn't going to show up till Monday, but we're making the video, so we'll just show you the one. So we're going to put the one wiper arm on. Since we got to pull the wiper arm off, we're going to be able to get to these cowl panel pieces. Got a really cool brand new cowl panel piece. Obviously this is all tattered looking, 25 years old as well. So we're going to replace that. In addition, the trim piece that holds underneath of it, this is all, I'll show you some pictures later, but it's all chewed up and ribbed up and stuff like that. So we're going to put a brand new trim piece underneath there. It looks really cool. And then the last thing we're going to do is a radiator cover. Picked up a brand new radiator cover for this thing. Looks all fresh and new. Got the OE stickers on it, everything like that. So that's just going to freshen up the front a little bit. And then we picked up a lot of the OE, like the clips, all the clips and pins and things like that for like the cowl panel piece. Here you go, because the one that's on the car now is just sitting there. There's no clips, so it's just flopping around while you're driving. So we got all kinds of new little clips and things like that that's going to secure that down and make it real nice. Like I said, it's all just kind of fun little stuff, things that you can do. And all this stuff for your SN95 New Edge, it's not real expensive. Some of the stuff we don't sell, we obviously sell K&N, we sell the headlights, but a lot of this other stuff, we're just picking it up random places. We're gonna get all this on for you today, show you some cool stuff, and let's get after it. All right, first thing we're going to do is pull off this old piece. Like I told you, it has all those switches and stuff, so you might look for wires behind that after we pop it out. Mike need to put it in the old neutral. There you go. Mike knows what he's doing there. Yeah, pieces are just falling apart there. That's old stuff we put in with these lights, like I said, 23, 24 years ago. So we're probably, yeah, well, we're probably just going to take that off because that was for the lights for the converter and stuff. And I'm sure we're not going to use that for anything anymore. So we'll go ahead and we'll just pull those apart. And looks like these were some other ones, right? This is probably for the switch for the converter. But what we're going to do, we're going to want to tape these up just because we don't want anything grounding out or messing with anything in case it is hooked up. And then one of the things they told us, once we get all this out, there'll be a couple trim pieces we'll need to tab, but we'll go through all that. And this is what I was telling you, you got to split the old CD player and that, and a double din just simply isn't going to fit in there. But with this new setup and this new Metra piece, we're going to replace all this and everything's going to look like a factory. So Mike's sitting there going, hey, I don't know if these Torx got to come out or not, but I said, well, we got instructions. They sent a full thing for crutch shields. He's like, we're just going to wing it, so that's cool. So we got a couple Torx bits there, 2 down there and 2 up higher underneath. What size is that, Mike?
T10.
So that's a T10 Torx bit. So we're going to take out these things that have been in here forever.
They were torqued to 30 from the factory.
That may have been out years ago, but actually, I don't know. That piece itself may have never been out of this car. Now, one of the other things that you can do, some of the guys do, the 2001, I believe, in newer Mustangs, they actually had the ability, they had the size for a double din, and it has a couple plugs on the bottom for the traction control, and I think the fog lights and stuff like that, you relocate that stuff, but I honestly, it's not something I wanted to do, go through rewiring all that other stuff. We don't use the traction control anyway. We have that disabled in the tune 100%, so there really wasn't a point. All right, so again, they send you a nice pair of clips. You've got your stereo. Here you got 4 holes, 2 holes on each side. We're going to use these clips to pop the stereo out. There's some extra clips on there, so we think if we pull the stereo out first, everything's going to come out a little bit easier. Okay, so we've got the clips in now. You just put the clips in. You don't want to put them in quite all the way and then pull them to the side, and then it should slide right out. Then of course you're going to have to take whatever connections are on the back of this particular stereo. There may be antennas. This is a CD player, so the antenna is probably in the top piece, but we're going to pop those pieces out. Okay.
Like a ground connector.
So we got that one out, the old CD player. Mike got a little aggressive on the left side there, as you can see. It's coming out, but... Now this one's going to have some more stuff on the back side. You got a lot more plugs, you got the antenna, a lot of different stuff like that. I'm just going to pop all that stuff off. All right, and she's out.
Ford.
All right, so you had one more little torque screw in the back there, like I said, on the bracket there. So this piece should pop. Yeah, there you go. Oh, look at that, Mike. Look at that. We just like that. Just like that.
Clips.
Yeah. So the clips aren't bad. Now, we already know the Metra instructions. They're going to tell you we trim these pieces off right here. So we're going to end up pulling those pieces off. And they actually send you vent pieces to go with the vents and everything like that to go back on there. So we're going to get those off as well. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to work with some knives and cutting. I don't have a whiz wheel. That would be the easiest way. So we're going to try to score this a little bit. You just got to take these shaded areas out. Well, not shaded. In the instructions it says shaded, but these two little clips out just so we can get the new piece. So really not too bad. So you can see we've got one side cut down. Basically all we did was score this with a knife and then just bend it off and it came right off. So not too bad. Well, you see a lot of the old rust behind there. Things that you don't see in a car because it's all hidden. Okay, so we've got the second side off now. We're going to try to start test fitting the pieces in. We took the vents out, and these just pop back in. Now, with this Metra kit, the only difference is you don't reuse the wheel that closes the vent on the back side. So you do lose that ability, but, I mean, you could still get these pretty, you know, if you've got them on, you're still going to be able to direct pretty good, but you're not going to be able to completely shut the vents off. But if you wanted to shut them completely off, why have them on? This is the harness that they made for us here. It's even numbered, as you can see, that they basically pre-made that harness for us. All right, this is one of our extra antennas, maybe satellite radio. We're going to look at that. You got a microphone that we can put in and run up through to talk to the system. Faceplate. Bolts and instructions. Now we're finally getting to some fun stuff. And as you can imagine, it's amazing how far technology's come in 25 years. So you pop the outer bracket off, which we've done, and now we're going to mount the mounting bracket on. They give you a multitude of different screws for the different holes, and then you just have to set the bracket where it goes for this particular car. And now the other side, pretty simple. So again, they've already opened this, and then basically they've done these connections for us. So this will plug into their connection, and then this, if you remember the big plug we pulled out of the factory stereo, that'll go into that. Correct? After messing with this thing for like an hour, speaker's not working, talk to Crutchfield. They sent us video. Twist that to the side a little. So basically this plug, see where it's all silver? That plug is all black. We basically had to hack that plug up to get the plugs to seat all the way. We spent 30 minutes on the phone with Crutchfield with one agent, didn't know anything about that. And then the second agent we called back and spoke to after we tested the speakers to make sure the speakers weren't blown. 30 seconds, he sent us a diagram of cutting the plastic connection point to explain to us that a lot of time the connection pins do not seat all the way, and that needs to be done. So 30 seconds, we figured it out. Now we got sound and everything. One speaker isn't working real great, but that's just the speaker itself. I'm probably going to do new speakers and the whole thing. But if you're installing a stereo, that connection plug does need to be trimmed. All right, so we're going to turn the screen on and fire up, and I'll go peel this off so we can touch everything. All right, we got power. That's positive.
We got fuel.
Yeah, we got fuel. All right, let's go through the setup process. Now this piece here, they give you some extra little clips to put on that are supposed to help that clip in. I guess where do those clip into? Oh, into the
on the edge.
On the edge there. So they're designed to work with that. So kind of interesting. We got it all installed in. They tell you to do 2 1/8 holes here for these extra screws just to help keep everything down all the way. So you've got 6 screws total, 1, 2, 3, and then the 3 on the other side. And that keeps it in there. I mean, it's pretty tight. We've tested the stereo out. Should be pretty good. Faceplate keep going after.
Should, yeah.
All right. In theory, this should. You did the brackets in the wrong spot. This is the whoa. So as you can see here, we got a little gap at the bottom. Your brackets can be assembled in different spots, and apparently we assembled the brackets in the wrong spot. Everything's still going to be drilled.
High, so.
I would say where it needs to be, maybe or maybe not. Yeah, because the stereo is just going to mount in a different position. So these are all going to stay where they're at. So we thought we were there. Every time I get out, they pull me back in. If you're a Godfather fan, you know that one. But we're going to pull this out and see how far we got to measure. Now, while Mike's working to redo the stereo parts there, we're going to get in here and got our little fancy tool here, and we're just going to, that's awesome. Makes it real easy to get these off. And normally that's what we use, but you can use a screwdriver or whatever. And as you can see, we're already missing 2 of these. This new cover, obviously unworn. It's a manufacturer reproduction, but it looks really good. And it's actually, you have the original stickers on there, which have long since come off the old car. Like I said, I ordered 4 new clips for this, but before I do that, I'm just going to take a towel and kind of clean this up. When they did the 1-stage cleanup, you could see they missed some of the areas here, like they didn't quite get all the way back underneath the Cobra emblem, and there's a lot of dust here that they actually didn't wipe up when they did the cleanup, because this is all from buffing the headlights and stuff like that. And they actually let a lot of that go. So I'm gonna get in here and give that a quick wipe down real quick. Now that Mike went for round 2, we got the Metro Dash here all set up and in. Again, it's a little darker in here. We'll get some better pictures for you outside, but the centerpiece on the dash is in. Everything fits in the screen nice. You do get a plate, like a face plate for some systems if you need it, but this one doesn't need that. And this actually fits in here nice and tight. Everything works good. We don't have no air, or heat, but at least the piece is in. It's looking good. Now we're going to get this set up for the new USBs down there and get this cleaned up and get her all back together. And before we go putting this back on and we finish cleaning everything up, I'm just going to go ahead and do headlights too. I've already pulled this one up. These are pretty old school, pretty cool. This is all you really need for these headlights. It has these 2 pieces that hold it in, and then we're going to be able to slide this out. It'll take me a second just to pop it out, but 2 hands. But pretty simple on those, and then we're going to get the new ones. We're going to swap out the light bulbs in it and then get those back in. As you can see here, now that I've got the headlights out, it's very dirty, and here it doesn't look like it's been cleaned in some time. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. We've got 1 of 4 clips left. I broke one on this side on the bottom, but when I went to pull this one out over here, both of them already broke on this side. So, but seems to hold in pretty good. But we're going to get this cleaned up and get these new headlights in. Old Buck was feeling bad he didn't get to participate in the video. We're going to let him show off the K&N filters here. So basically you can see the old filter. I mean, the clamp's been, war-torn pretty bad. You can see where it's been squeezed down, pushed around. And again, just a ton of markings and stuff on this thing. Just not good at all. We got a fresh new K&N. We're going to put that on in place of the old one. We'll probably do that next week when we have the car up on the lift for the fog lights, but at least wanted to show you the before and after on the filter, because you really won't see it once we put it in. So we already got one windshield wiper off, but as you can see, look how old and tethered and nasty these are. And again, these are discontinued, and I was lucky to find 2 different ones at 2 different places, but they're going to come off pretty easy. Put Mike on there. He's going to lift it up. Get the little tab, and it literally pops right off. Even for as old as this is, that actually came off pretty good. So pretty hot. Yeah, pretty good tension. It just looks like shit after sitting outside for 22 years. So now that we got that off, we're going to go ahead. This cowl piece, like I said, if you look from the side here, you can see how weathered this is and everything like that. And this is the trim piece I was telling you about earlier. Look at that. That's just all sorts of chewed up. So we're going to replace both of these pieces right now. What's holding that down, Mike? So you got a couple. Wow. So there's a couple Phillips screws hidden down in there, and that's what we're going to have to take off to get this cowl piece loose. So I'm going to hold the hood up a little bit more just so Mike can get this stubby in here to get to this screw. So what it is, it's actually a press-in piece. It is a little screw, but it's just a little plastic screw. Of course, it says there's 3 of them, but we've only got 1 on this one. It's amazing how many screws and stuff are missing over the years on this thing. So just because of the angle, I'm going to put down on the hood some just to try to get some of this angle here. There you can. All right. While Mike's working the other one, working them nozzles back in there, I'll take you up here and show you. Again, just wow. Look at that. I think I'm going to get a vacuum and vacuum this out a little bit before I wipe it down, because there's definitely some nesting. Now the nice thing with this new trim panel piece, we did get 3 fresh new of these little clip screws, so that's kind of nice. So these will look all fresh and nice once we get them in there. All right, so we got 3 fresh screws in there. Now we'll lay down the underhood seal piece. Again, this is just new rubber seal. It just pushes right on top of the whole thing. If you remember, the old one was all chewed up, but we'll just pop this down just to give a little extra seal in there. Keep it a little quieter, keep a little weather out. Okay, so this is new weather stripping on. Looks fresh and new cowl piece. Makes a world of difference. Time for some wiper arms. Just to give you an idea, this is the old wiper arm. And I'm going to pick up some new wipers today. I'll pick up some corner bulbs. We'll put them taillights back in, but that's much nicer. I'm so happy because, like I said, these are discontinued, but we were able to find one of each at 2 different places, and that should last us a long time. New radiator pieces on, so that radiator cover just looks, again, way nicer. Just little things as we keep adding them. I want to keep finding stuff out there, and we got the I scored a polished intake online. Going to get Vortex send me a polished blower. If I get some polished valve covers, man, that'll set this and coil covers, that'll set this engine bay off really nice. I got to pick up a couple bulbs for the headlights, but we got this cleaned up. Looks way better under there. Just, it's nice to get some of the grime out. While we're out picking up some new windshield wipers and turn signal bulbs and fog light bulbs to go with what we're doing, the extra windshield wiper came. So we're going to get to put both windshield wipers on today now, which is pretty cool. I thought it wasn't going to be here till Monday, but it showed up today, so that's pretty good. While we were out, we stopped at the local AutoZone, or sorry, O'Reilly's, not AutoZone, and this is what we picked up. We got ourselves some LED for the turn signal bulbs, which would be real nice. So we're gonna get rid of these bulbs that are in there and replace them with some fresh LED bulbs. The Cobra fog light bulbs, one of them's not working. We're hoping it's just the light bulb. We'll see when we go to put that in. And then of course for the new wiper arms, we picked up some Rain-X wipers. And then while I was out there, Mike went ahead and got the new LEDs in, or HIDs, sorry, for the headlights. So we're going to go ahead and get these finished up, get these marker lights switched out, get those in, and get finished up with the wipers. And these are direct replacements, got them in here now. Originally I wanted to pick up the new housing pieces too, but these ones are working. Nobody had them in stock, 1 to 2 days out, but I really want to get these done today, so we're going ahead and get these back in. So just show you what we were working with here. Again, we've got these new black housing, clear light though, got HIDs in them now. Compared to HIDs and LEDs, compared to these old, and even after being restored, I mean, you know, these just, you know, they leave a lot to be desired. In all honesty, one of them was broken at the front as well, just old light. So we're going to get these in right now. All right, so let's show you how the interior finished out with a little outside view so you get a little better clear picture. So if you look here, this is the microphone and the GPS. Even though we're using the wireless Apple CarPlay and it should pull, it's still they say it requires you to have a GPS, so whatever, so we put that in. I figured running behind the steering wheel, and this actually puts the microphone pretty close. We've tested out earlier. It actually works very, very good. And then as you can see here, we ended up with two different things that we did here. We've got the USB port down here, which is badass. This is in place of the factory cigarette lighter. The little button there. So now we've got two USB ports. So that's pretty cool. And then you don't turn it off. You just click a button. But now we got two USBs in place of the lighter. And again, of course, we're going to turn on the stereo. Now you know we got the loud fuel system, but this has wireless CarPlay. It has wired CarPlay too. We did tuck the USB back in there if we ever need to get to it, but got everything that you need in there. If we hit the home screen, we're all set up there. Still figuring this whole thing out. Demo, we want demo to be off. Then it shows the seat. We jump right into the wireless CarPlay. We tested out the Android Auto too, just for shits and giggles. But now we can go to our music if we want to stream our music. We got the wireless CarPlay going. If we want to jam out on some music, we can. Obviously with the phone connected and we're doing the video through the phone, you can't really see, but I mean, this whole thing just looks so clean. Looks factory, like it was meant to be here. I mean, between Metra and I think we got this from a Ford dealer. It's like a reproduction, but to give you the option for the USBs, that's great. In this day and age, we use a lot of USBs, but if you sit back and look at it, I mean, we've got an automatic in the Cobra. This thing just looks like it's meant to be here. It doesn't look out of place at all. Super, super happy with it. Again, we got great voice options here. It's just really cool. So that's what we got done on the inside. We'll go take a look around the outside. All right, we're going to do a quick walk around the outside. See these fresh headlights. Just looks so much better with the black housing and those clear lights, but all just fresh and new, you know, just no marks, no nothing in the corners. All this is here, it's gone. Up here on the cowl panel, you see it outside, is a basically brand new piece, brand new wiper arms. I mean, you've seen what those look like. Fresh wipers on the car. I mean, just looks simply amazing there. Let's pop the hood and take a look. All chewed up piece. I mean, it looks killer out here. You can really see it good. New radiator cover. Looks OE stickers, everything like that, just looks really nice. And we're going to keep cleaning this engine bay up, getting more things done to it. You've seen the killer BOV setup we did already, but just really happy with how everything turned out. I want to hit the lights for you one time and then we'll call it a day. Headlights look amazing in there. Just turned out super great. We'll probably take it out tonight for a drive in the dark just to see how it looks at night. But super, super happy with all this stuff. You know, like I said, just a little bit of fun stuff today. No real mechanics or anything like that. Just some, you know, cool extra stuff to kind of get this thing looking fresh again before she goes in for a paint. Again, you know, like I said, we're going to end up doing windows and taking care of all this kind of junk here that you see all around the car. Just, it's a shame car's only got 17,500 miles, that it was neglected for so long. But between what Alex did and us getting it back, you know, it's going to be back where she needs to be. She'll have more horsepower than she ever did. Now, Ford's lines will be back to me next week, and we'll get those up to Ford's line. They're only an hour and a half away. That's going to be pretty fun. That'll be a nice video. You see some of our other cool projects in the background. 22 F-150 Vortex supercharged 834 wheel, roughly 830 wheel. 830 wheel on the 2024 Mustang. Don't forget, hit us up for all your Mustang, your F-150, new school, old school, all your needs here at beefcakeracing.com.